right, good afternoon. I'd like to bring the Single Family Design Board full board agenda to order for August 24th. And the first item on the agenda is roll call.
Okay, here we go. Chair Don Sherry.
Here.
Okay, Katie Graffiti,
Yes, here.
Christopher Richards,
Present.
and Lauren Wall.
Yes.
Okay, and we have absent Shinar Moslehi, our vice chair.
Thank you. Moving on to public comment. Any member of the public may address the board for up to 2 minutes on a subject within its jurisdiction that is not scheduled on this agenda for a public discussion. Do we have anybody present for that?
For that particular, for general public comment, we do not have any speaker slips. We do have a few that are for later. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item B, approval of the minutes of the Single Family Design Board meeting of August 10th. I reviewed the minutes, and I don't have any comments, but I'll give those of you who have not had a chance to review the minutes a chance to do so. And if you don't have any comments, then I'm open to a motion.
Yeah, board members, feel free to let me know if I should keep scrolling. I believe you've been provided with draft.
I don't think anybody's looking at the screen right now.
Okay,
so-
yeah, if anybody's, there's drafts in front of you as well, so I can keep going through online, or if you guys have already all set to go.
Has everybody reviewed them?
Well, I wasn't there, so I'm abstaining.
Okay.
I wasn't there either.
I'll make a motion for approval of the minutes for August 10th full board.
I'll second the motion.
Rico, Chair Sherry,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Board Member Rolfe,
Abstain.
okay, and Board Member Richards.
Abstain.
Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Item C, approval of the minutes of the Single Family Design Board consent meeting of August 10th. And Board Member Moslehi was here.
Did
But-
she leave? Yeah.
She, I don't have any
Did she give any comments?
comments, but since she was the one here, do we have to have her present to make the motion?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Chair Sherry. So, no, the board member does not have to be present. I do want to remind the board that these minutes were ratified previously with with Vice Chair Moslehi present. So, if you would like to review the minutes and see if there are any changes to the minutes, you're more than welcome to. So, you can approve the minutes. If you don't feel comfortable doing that and you would like Vice Chair Moslehi here, you can continue this to the next hearing as well. I'll leave that up to your discretion.
My preference would be to continue it since the actions were already ratified, as long as that doesn't affect the process for the applicants at all, just so that she has a chance to review the actual comments and we can make sure they're accurate. But that's just my take.
I'm okay with that.
Sure.
So we'll table the approval of the minutes of the Single Family Design Board consent meeting of August 10th.
Okay. And just to clarify for that, the record, it's a continuance, correct? Yeah, okay, thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Oh, that's a motion to table,
To continue.
To continue to the next
to
full board.
continue, okay.
Here we go. Chair Sherry,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
and Board Member Rolfe.
Yes.
Motion to continue.
Okay, item D, ratification of action taken on the consent calendar of today, August 24th.
Oh, I would like to mention as well, apologies for the lack of the reminder, is that we do still have to open public comment for each of these items in general business. I don't believe we did so for B and C. However, yeah, if we can go through, B
Okay.
and C again, and
I'll go back and open public comment.
Thank you.
For item B, approval of the minutes from August 10th.
Okay, I do not have any particular for the minutes of the August 10th at all. So I'll bring it back to you, Chair Sherry.
Okay, then moving back to item C, I'll reopen the approval of the minutes of the consent meeting of August 10th.
And I do not have any comments for the consent minutes of August 10th. Thank you.
Back to item D, ratification of action taken on today's consent calendar, August 24th. Public comment?
I do have a public comment speaker slip for Mr. Ken Boxer, if he'd like to come up and make a statement. Thank you.
Hello. I'm Ken Boxer, and there was a project pertaining to 515 Dolores Drive this morning, and I was one of the people opposed to the deck that was being built on the slope behind my father's house at 564 Ricardo Avenue. I'm hoping that we can get a full board to look at this project because we didn't have a lot of time. There were issues of, in my opinion, compatibility, for one, because back in 1972, the Planning Commission denied an applicant, the next door neighbor of this current applicant, they denied his application due to compatibility. It wasn't in the, it was denied. I forget all the other reasons. I came down here in the last minute, so I didn't have all my notes with me. But I really think that given the time, I sent a letter with attachments of the 1972 decision. So I'd like for you to take a look at that as the full board, because it's really important, because the issue of view, I understand that you're not really involved with that unless it's in a public domain. But the way it is now, the deck is so close to the border of my parents' home that they don't have any privacy. If the people that are, the owners that are standing on this deck, when they're standing up on the deck, they could look straight into our living room, kitchen, bedroom. And they said, just grow the hedges. Well, if we grow the hedges between the two, we won't have the view, but they'll have the view of the ocean on the mesa. So they're a nice family, no problem. We've lived there. We bought the home when we moved out from New York in 1958. And so my parents just recently died, and my brother's now living there. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we see a deck right in our backyard on the slope. And the 1970, I researched this, and I noticed that my parents, reaching out from the grave, actually had a letter that I was able to see in your records.
Mr. Boxer, your time has been up, but I just wanted to make sure you didn't want to make another point, because it sounds like you're asking for us to review it. So
Yes, 'cause I
you
think
can
it's-
maybe make your points when that happens. You're asking for the project to go to full board, so you'll have
Yes.
additional time if you don't feel like you have had enough time. We're on a tight schedule today. So.
Okay, I'm sorry. And that's it. We just needed, I think because of the compatibility factor, 2 minutes wasn't enough. And I don't believe anyone had the chance to read, I might be wrong, the
We all
attachment.
read, we all got copies of all of the public comment.
Okay, so I'd like to be presented to the full board instead of having just one person hear it this morning. That's good. Thank you.
We also have a Mr. Grant Endo also would like to speak regarding ratification.
Okay.
The same situation about the deck. Well, I understand the board member Richardson made he made his ruling on a minor 1 or 2 inch exception. I understand why he made that. But the decks and steps were ultimately built before the plans are submitted for permitting. By approving this, the board inadvertently encourages individuals to build without permits. The current message implies that if builders were not caught, there's no consequences. And if they were caught, they just need to bring it up to code, structural code. This approach eliminates the incentive for proper compliance. Furthermore, had the project gone through the standard planning procedure, surrounding neighbors would have been notified and given an opportunity to at least express their concerns. My thing is, we are, because it was built without permits, they were able to permit it after the fact, and our voice was not heard at all. We're eliminated. I mean, that's like saying, well, if you cheat, it's okay. You know, you could get away with it, you know, because we're not going to make you remove the structure. I'm just saying this process needs to be reviewed because I feel that it's unfair. Because if someone cheats, we have no voice after the fact, you know, or very little. They just have to make it comply with your ordinances. But we have no input. Even if you guys ignore our inputs, at least we have the chance to voice our concerns. And that's the reason why I'm stating here. I understand why the gentleman made his decision. However, I think there needs to be something better in place, because if you cheat and build without a permit, your neighbors have no voice. He only was ruling on a 1 or 2 inch variance that they didn't meet code to, but we didn't have our voice because the deck was already built without a permit. So they permitted it after or they're trying to permit it after the fact. So, thank you.
Okay, I do not have any other speakers, and I only received one public correspondence, an email regarding ratification. And I'll turn it back over to you, Chair Sherry.
Actually, it's going to staff now to state the ratification.
Yes, thank you. So, thank you, Chair Sherry. So, just to remind the public audience, folks who are watching, and for the board, that I'm reading off the list that's posted on the full board agenda. So I'm referencing that. Item A, 1630 Overlook Lane, was granted final approval with comments. Item B, 50 St. Francis, was continued with comments back to consent. Item C, 121 North Ontario Road, was also continued back to consent with comments. And item D, 515 Dolores Drive, was granted project design approval without comments. And those were the actions taken today. And I'll hand it back over to you, Chair Sherry.
Thank you. I'll make a motion for ratification of the consent agenda for today, August 24th.
I'll second.
Is that for items A through C, including D?
Yes.
Okay.
So for myself, I sort of want to give this 515 Dolores a chance for single family design review board. So then would I just vote no on it, or?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Oh, I want to give this project a chance to be reviewed with full board instead of consent. Is that?
That's not our call.
Oh,
That's
it's not our
staff's call.
Oh, it's staff's call.
Oh, I
No,
thought it was our call.
So, yeah, so thank you for the question, Board Member Rolfe, and apologies for not clarifying this.
Yeah.
So, for ratification at the consent calendar, when the full board ratifies consent items, it is the full board going with the consent motions and essentially approving through the consent member, when you make the ratification, approving the motions that were made. So at this time, the board does have the option to change those actions if they wish. For example, if there was an issue with the granting of the final approval for 1630 Overlook Lane, the board could say that they would want that project brought to the full board for final approval consideration if there were any issues. So the same is true as well for what we received public comment on for 515 Dolores Drive is project design approval was granted, but the board does have the opportunity to ratify the rest of the motions, but state that they would like to have that brought to the full board for consideration. So the motion could read, the full board grants ratification of the consent calendar of August 24th, 2026, with the comment that item D be continued to the full board for review, if you would like to consider that.
Okay, so still under discussion, we have a first and a second, but under discussion, for me, I don't have any reason to think that the project was seen and all the notified neighbors were not given a chance to, I mean, was there any reason to think that they were not given a chance to voice their opinion on the project? They can always appeal, but if they feel, if you, I'm not understanding why it would go to full board.
Yeah, so
Sounds like a privacy issue, which is not our purview.
right, so it's up to you. So if you'd like to discuss with Board Member Richards, since he was there at the hearing about any issues, but yes, there is a chance for neighbors, for interested parties to submit an appeal. However, if the board would like to hear and consider it at the full board, you know, so that that appeal doesn't have to go straight to Planning Commission from consent, that could be
It
a
could still
step in
go on,
between.
it could still be appealed even if it goes to the full board.
That is correct. Yeah,
So
that is
they have a
correct.
chance to appeal now.
That is correct.
Okay, so does everybody understand the rules right now?
Yeah.
So, and my question was, it sounded like from public comment that some of the public didn't feel like they had a chance to be heard. But did they not get their full 2 minutes?
I think they were talking about when, because it was an as-built condition, and this is my understanding from the second public commenter, had the applicant followed the proper protocol initially, neighbors could have had a chance in the initial design as constructed. Now that it's already built, it was built without.
They still have, we're reviewing it right now as it's a new process, as if it's a new project and it's getting the same due process.
I mean,
So the neighbors are now looking at it as if it's a new project because for all intents and purposes, it hasn't been built because it hasn't been approved. So they're getting their due process by reviewing it today as a consent agenda item. So that's my opinion on it. And I don't have any reason to question Board Member Richards' decision, and they can always appeal. And they're going to be able to appeal on full board too. No,
it's our
not your time.
discussion.
We're under good discussion, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Board member was only making a thing on one part of it, we weren't allowed to express.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
we need to-
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the board member's time to deliberate. Appreciate the comments.
Board
though.
Member Richards, it was the deck further than 15 feet away from property lines?
It was within the rear yard setback, but the item that we were looking at is that the deck projected a couple inches over the 10 inches that's allowed.
But it's
the
within
portion that
15
was
feet from a
Within the
property
rear,
line.
I'm not sure what the rear
It needed a
setback
minor
was.
zoning exception because it was located closer than it was.
It was, the zoning exception, as I understood it, was simply because it was 12 inches above finished grade as opposed to 10.
Yeah.
So to answer Board Member Graffiti's question, yes, it is within the 15-foot guideline that we have for decks and privacy impacts. This was within the 10-foot interior setback in the rear property.
Okay.
Let's just see where this motion goes, because there's a motion on the table and a seconder, unless you want to withdraw your second.
I have a question for you. Were they all able to speak?
Yeah, so letters were submitted ahead of the hearing, and I read through them. And then every person who was in attendance got the ability to speak for 2 minutes and more.
Okay.
It's hard, we haven't reviewed the plans, so
I feel like I reviewed the plans, and, because I review all the plans, even if they just go to consent, and I reviewed the public comment as well, and if it didn't appear to be a privacy issue, then, and it was an aesthetic issue, but I looked at the plans, and to me, it's not an aesthetic issue. It's a very small deck that the neighbors can't see.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Chair Sherry. I just want to be sure that the bounds of our purview right now, it's just about whether or not we would like to ratify the motions made at the consent calendar. Since the board hasn't had the chance, all the board members haven't had a chance to review the plan since it's not on the full board agenda today. So it's just focusing on the question on whether or not, given the information and the requests from the public, or board member questions from board member Richards, about if you would like to make any changes to any of the ratification motions or have anything continue to the full board for further review, to have these kinds of discussions about privacy impacts.
Yeah, and I
things
apologize.
like
I thought
that.
you said we could deliberate under discussion, so that's why we were having this discussion in the first place. So,
Yeah, so it's just
okay,
about
so
the ratification
My motion
motion.
stands only
Okay.
because I feel that based on the public opinion, the nature of the public, the neighbors not wanting this deck is because of privacy, and I feel like they were given their chance to speak, so that's why I made the motion to ratify.
I'm going to withdraw what I said, just after hearing Richard's talk.
Okay, so now what do we do?
Yes, I believe if the motion stands.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to withdraw.
No,
Oh,
what
you
I
don't?
meant was like, I originally wanted it to full SFD,
Oh, got it,
but when I
okay.
talked to him, I
Okay.
realized that was not necessary.
Okay,
Correct,
I
yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a
Yeah.
first, which was me, and a second.
Uh-huh.
which was
And the
Board Member
motion's
Roth.
still on the table, so with that, we'll go to roll call.
Okay,
Thank
here we
you.
go. Chair Sherry?
Yes.
Okay. Board Member Rolfe?
Yes.
Board Member Richards?
Yes.
And Board Member Graffiti?
no.
Okay.
Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was interesting.
Yep. And then for item E, just in case we don't skip over that, the last item on today's agenda has been postponed. So sorry, I don't have my notes right in front of me. Item 4, thank you. 3650 Foothill Road will not be opened and heard today. So we're only looking at items 1 through 3. And that is it for announcements. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then moving on to item number 1, which is 1596 Oramus Road. This is a proposal for a new 941 square foot third story with an attached 119 square foot patio and trellis. A wood bridge is proposed from the third story to an unpermitted backyard non-permeable patio with a raised 268 square foot deck and planter. One new oak is proposed to replace the previously removed oak tree. The proposed total of 3,589 square feet on an 8,712 square foot lot is 107% of the maximum required floor area ratio. SFDB review of an FAR exception is requested. No final appealable decision will take place at this hearing. Neighborhood compatibility findings and maximum FAR exception findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval. Project was last reviewed on June 29th, 2026. Your name for the record.
Hi, yes, Kirk Verdeen, architect.
And I just wanted to make staff comment before we start the presentation. Sebastian Herrick's project planner and then case planner assigned to this project. I just wanted to say that at the last hearing, we reviewed maximum FAR exception findings. I just want to remind the board that today we're looking for specific comments on waiving the story pole requirements. that waiver specifically wasn't able to be made at the last hearing. If that waiver is not made at this hearing specifically, story poles will be required prior to project design approval 8 days before that hearing date. So if the board can give feedback on that, that would be most helpful. And that's it for staff comments. Thank you.
I have a quick question for staff. Did you say that story pole requirements waiver was not made for a certain reason in the last meeting? Or did we just miss it, or?
No, it was under the board's consideration. I believe I made the comments, similar comments at the last hearing. If we go to the last minutes, you'll get a sense of the motion.
probably what we'll do, okay.
Yeah, but I just wanted to remind the board that specifically when you're making a motion to specify whether or not a waiver is going to be granted for story poles, or whether you're decreasing the level from full to intermediate to the minimal.
Got it.
So thank you.
Comment on that?
It's the floor is yours anyway, so go for it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go through the comments from last time.
No, you're going to,
Oh,
as part of your presentation.
okay, well, I don't have a list of the comments,
Oh,
but,
they're in your, they're the second tab, or they're one of the tabs on the top of your screen. First tab, there it is.
okay.
Yep.
All right, so just regarding the story poles, as Sebastian explained at the last hearing, the board, there are certain ways to sidestep the requirement for story poles. One of those is to provide additional documentation, such as photo sims, which illustrate the visual impact from specific areas. So we did provide a photo sim, color, realistic, to scale image that was presented to the board. And then, so and we have some additional photos now from an adjacent property, which is not a public view, but we are providing a photo sim of the public view from the street. And also, we made the arguments that because the house is 60 feet back from the street, and it already steps back with the hillside, and the third floor is also stepped back, that we're meeting all the requirements of the design recommendations that are contained in the SFDB booklet. So that's part of my argument of why we shouldn't be required to provide story poles. But let's see, I'm not seeing the comments.
Keep going.
Keep going, oh, here we are. Okay, reduce the plate height of the third story at the north elevation. Okay, so that we did that, and I'll show how. In order for the board to determine the appropriateness of the exception for the floor area ratio to exceed 100%, the applicant is to provide a revised, reduced floor plan of the massing of the third story by bringing the south elevation patio and west bedroom back from the front of the residence to improve the mass, bulk, and scale. And that, we did that as well. Applicant to return with a site section that includes the mass of the north neighbor's property in the site section. That we did not do because we have photographs that show very clearly what that relationship is, and we're providing an additional photo, which unfortunately Dave Dwelly, who is one of the neighbors who's here today, didn't see the additional photographs that we submitted because it just happened yesterday, but he'll get to see them today. So to go to the drawings, let's start with the photo simulation. So this is the street level photo sim that we did last time. And I'll just mention a few of the things that we did that have changed since the last submittal. One is we reduced the height of this parapet here by 6 inches. That was one of the comments. Didn't get put into the minutes, but reducing the mass, in fact, of the existing second floor. We also pushed this wall, which is the west bedroom wall, and this whole kind of continuous trellis element, which is also a shade canopy for that window, and this post back 14 inches. So it was already back, I think it was 2 feet 3 inches, and we went another 14. So it's now, I think it's 3 feet 8 inches. We'll have to look at the plan. I'm not clear about those numbers. Anyway, We pushed it back 14 inches. We reduced the square footage thereby from, instead of 107%, we're now 106% of a maximum FAR. That was about a 20-something square foot reduction in square footage. And then we, what you'll see on the drawings, we also pulled down the parapet heights and the plate height of the back portion. So right now, let me just mention that when we go to the drawings, you'll see this. This parapet height and roof is just sneaking below the maximum 30-foot height limit. So and that's an 8-foot plate, or I think it's an 8-foot plate, or it might be 8.6 of that front bedroom. But there's no way, other than reducing the plate down to 8 foot or lower, there's no way to bring that parapet height down. But we have brought the plate height up in the back up to 10 feet, and we've now dropped it to 9. And we've also reduced the parapet in the back, which you'll see brings that parapet in the back down 2 feet. There's another photo, I guess it's the next image here. So this is, let me start with the third image, because this is the property adjacent, catty corner to our property, the house of Dave and his wife, Dwelly, 1511 APS. And this ground surface is roughly similar. Actually, I think there is a retaining wall there. Now, there's like a 6 to 7 foot retaining wall drop from this point to where our property starts. And then, as you can see, there's additional retaining walls, and that their property slopes up so that from APS, it's a 1-story house. So it's continuing to slope up in a very similar way to the Oramas property. And from their balconies, so just this weekend, the property owners of Oramas met with the Dwellys, and from this balcony, were able to take a photograph. And this is an approximation because you can't actually see the existing house from the second floor of the Dwelly house. This red roof that you're seeing right here is at the top corner of the existing Oramas property. It's a shed in the very back corner of the property, and you're seeing the roof of it. And it is a full story above the upper story of the Oramas house. So based on what these kind of very sort of difficult to see parapet tops through the trees, and also this palm tree, which is in the back corner of the Oramas property, I've located the existing approximate back wall of the Oramas house and the approximate height of where the addition would occur. So you can see that it's actually already screened. It doesn't affect their view in any substantial way. So that's a kind of a preview. And then let's see, these are the old plans, and these are the new plans.
Those are the new plans that you have selected there, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to scroll down to, we also now providing a landscape plan in addition, showing where the oak tree is located. So here's the floor plan, and I've left in red the portions that were changed. As I mentioned, we pulled this wall back, so it's 3'8". So I did have that dimension correct. From the existing second floor parapet height, and in addition pulled this post back, which supports this trellis, and pulled the trellis back. So everything came back 14 inches. And I also, one of the discussions that was part of the hearing last time was, did we really need such a big bedroom for the upper stair of this third floor addition?
You have about 5 minutes remaining. Thank you.
Okay. I mentioned that both of the owners are professors, and that these would be office spaces as well as bedrooms. In addition, one of the owners is a pianist, and we'll have an existing grand piano, which is now crowded into the lower portions of the house, would be located up here. So this is part of the reason why we need the spaces that we need. We also added a small push-out and detail, sort of a semi-bay on this back wall, which was one of the comments the neighbors had made, that it seemed like that two-story wall which goes straight up could be mitigated in its visual impact, and this is kind of our way of addressing that. So here on the elevations, you can see, again, I've showing that from the back, let's start with the back, because this is where we've brought the parapet height down 2 feet and the plate height down 1 foot, so that the new parapet height is 7 feet above the existing parapet. And here's this little bay that we've created here with wood siding, again, to kind of break up that elevation. And then from the side, you're seeing, again, the previous submittal, which has the dashed parapet height, which we've brought down, and this roof canopy in the back, and also at the front where we've pushed that front wall and trellis back. And this is illustrated on each of the elevations. In terms of the landscape plan, besides the fact that the existing house is 60 feet back from the street curb, there is a large canopy oak in the front yard that screens this house from being able to be seen. You have to basically stand directly in front of the driveway in order to see the house from the street. And similarly, if you travel along the street in this direction, because of the canopies and growth on the adjacent property, the house disappears. So the only public view of this house really is standing directly in front of the driveway. And then we're showing the location of the new oak in the back corner here, which is adjacent to an oak grove, really, that occurs on the adjacent property to the west. And some additional smaller plantings in the back right corner where this deck area is being remodeled and removed from being in the setback. That, I think, covers everything. We also made some window changes in the back. We reduced the size of these window areas, and also on the west side. This is a much reduced window, along with bringing the parapet heights down. That completes my presentation.
Thanks. Okay, we'll move on to public comment.
For this particular item, we did have one speaker, David Dwelly, and if he could come up to the podium. Thank you.
All right. Hi there. I'm Dave Dwelly. I was here last time. And Kirk, thank you for introducing and showing the photos from my balcony. My primary concern for the design from the previous meeting were that we'd had notice of one day that it was coming, and we saw incomplete plans before we had the chance to come to this meeting. So I came and made two primary concerns. One was the height of the back view. As Kirk showed, that's the view we see off of our balcony. And also the appearance of the back of the building, and then the height of the increased height. And I'm pleased to say now we have met with Maria and Raymond, and they're lovely folks. They came and took pictures off our balcony, and my concerns about the appearance of the back face of the building are largely resolved, and it looks like we've added some decoration, we've made it maybe a more interesting surface, and we've made it 2 feet shorter. And in particular, I want to thank Kirk for adding an actual dimension now on the back that was missing before, and that was a big part of my concern. There was an unclear height on the plans, and it wasn't clear how tall this thing was going to be. There was a photo, the photo that you superimposed the drawings on. It became clear while we were talking to them that the biggest concern for the view is the front edge, the south edge of the new addition, and not the north edge. However, with the new drawings in place, I'm optimistic that we're not going to have any kind of view conflict. The house sticks up in a way that the front edge is what you see first. So I would ask only that if there are further modifications to the front edge of the new addition, that we be kept informed. The Charles Clemenson team know how to contact us. But at this point, I would cautiously support the design as I see it now. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. I did not receive any public correspondence on this particular item. Moving on to Zoom, I do not see any raised hands. And with that, I'll return it to you, Don Cherry.
Thank you. Okay, questions from the board? Board Member Caffardi?
Yeah, I just had one clarifying question where you had mentioned when our comment about reducing the top floor plan, and you mentioned pushing back 14 inches. I was unclear if that was the canopy, like the trellis structure, or you actually pushed the wall back as well?
Both.
Both?
Yeah, and that's on the floor plan, A3. I'm not sure if you're looking at what I'm looking at, but.
Yeah.
So that's why we made it in red, is because it was pushed back 14 inches. Because this post aligns with the wall, and the trellis above is an extension of that. So, yeah, everything was pushed back 14 inches.
Okay, got it. Not just the trellis component of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry, because I
Go
have that
ahead.
same question.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question onto that
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
I'm still unclear. I'm not seeing both of them together. So if I'm on the sheet, the red is the new,
Yes.
and the previous submittal was what?
Oh, well, we can go to the old plans since they're so convenient.
Because when you can't see them superimposed, you can't
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah. So here we go. We were 2'6" before, back from, this is the line of the face of the parapet of the second floor, the existing parapet, right? That's what that line is. And you're looking, this is currently the roof of the second floor, right? So we were previously 2'6" back from that face. And now with the new plans, we're 3'8" back from that face.
But the parapet stays in the same place,
Well,
It's
yes,
already
because that's
existing.
existing.
because that's existing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the second floor parapet.
And that's the only place that you reduce the floor plan?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, keep going.
And then can you just remind me, there's one new oak proposed to replace a previously removed oak tree. Where's the new oak proposed?
It's in the northwest corner. So let's go to the planning plan.
I guess we're just here for concept, but I wanted to make sure.
It's back in this corner here, and the reason for that, well, there is, as I mentioned, there's a lot of planting in the front yard already. There's a lot of screening in addition to this giant oak. And since there's already this oak grove on the neighboring property, it makes sense to locate it in this spot. It's not blocking anyone's view. It's not going to affect
Okay,
anyone.
I'm good on that. I'm all done with questions.
Okay, since I was talking before, I'll just keep asking my other question, and that's about, can you clarify on the elevation again, how much you reduced the plate height? Can you go back to that elevation?
Yeah.
I think it was the east elevation. And then see where it says 8 feet? I'm not sure what that is. From what, that's a dimension from the top of the parapet, but what's the plate height of the upper level?
Oh, it's right here. It's 9 feet. You see here where it used to be 10, it's now 9. So I left the old plate height dimension, which was 10. We brought it down to 9.
So am I looking at the new plans or the existing plans? Because it's in,
Well, so here is the previous. This dashed line is the previous height of the parapet
Got it.
of this back portion, right? So this dimension, 2 feet, is how much we've reduced that height. How did we do that? We only brought the plate height down 1 foot, but instead of having a 30-inch high parapet above the roof, we now have an 18-inch high, or, yeah, it varies from 18 to 2-foot high parapet above the
So what
the
does
rough
the
surface.
8-foot dimension in red represent?
The 8-foot dimension in red is, this line is the existing parapet of the second floor, that dashed line, which on this elevation, we're bringing way down to here.
So where's your plate height? Do you have a section that shows where you reduce the plate height? Because
Yeah.
I'm not seeing, I'm not understanding where the 9-foot is measured to.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't represent it on the sections, but this tells the story. I mean, we can go back to we can do the same thing, go to the old plans. Go to here we go. So previous plan, we had a 10-foot plate height in the back, plus a 30 to 36-inch height parapet above the roof surface. This is the previous plan,
understand.
right? Okay. So now the new plan, we have a 9-foot plate in the back, 9 foot.
You just don't have a new 9-foot dimension.
Yeah, it's right there.
You just crossed out 10.
It's right there, 9 foot in red.
Right, so does that mean that the dimension string is actually 9 feet now?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
because it looks like it's the same drawing in black. It's just deceiving.
Well, okay, well, the reason I did that, I was trying to make it clear what changed
I
from the
understand.
previous
Okay.
without, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Questions?
Yeah. Do you know if the neighbors on the opposite side of the neighbor behind you, did they have any issues on the height of the building
well, I was
from the street?
I was told that it's actually a rental, although
Oh.
it's a beautiful
Okay.
3-story house with huge garage and we did provide photos of it, which I can go to. Let me just show you what that looks like. Because when it was under construction, we captured this photo. So this surface area, which is a driveway entrance to this 3-car garage for the house that's immediately above us, there's another retaining wall, 6 to 8 foot high, drop to our property, where our property begins. And then we have a steep property.
Okay.
So to put it simply, there is no obstruction of their view occurring with this addition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then, did you look at other ways to further reduce the square footage of the third level, particularly to make it so it's not so close to the street? Like, for example, removing the walk-in closets or minimizing hallways and stuff.
We've spent many dozens of hours going over these plans,
Yeah.
trying to make it as compact as possible, because it's also a financial issue. The larger it is, of course, every square foot is many thousands of dollars more, right? So we have, yes, we've studied this plan again and again, looked at many different options, and we feel like we're at a point where we've reduced it as much as we can and still meet the owner's desires in terms of what they would like that space to accommodate for them, yeah. And we also specifically focused on the comment that we received from the board last time, which was to take that west bedroom and push it back, and to push the trellis back. So we addressed the comments that we were given,
Okay.
yeah.
And then I noticed there's like a space between, is it the west bedroom and I don't know if it's the west bedroom or it's the room just closest to the street on the third level. Did you look in providing some type of, deck space there too? I just saw that it wasn't, I think it's blocked off.
Oh, this
Yeah.
area here? There's a reason why they're not proposing to use that space, and I'm forgetting what it is right now.
That's
But,
okay.
yeah, this they felt was really, a place where they could sit out, table and chairs, and enjoy the view and the outdoors there, whereas this becomes kind of a less usable space, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's all my questions. Thank you.
okay, thanks.
Board Member Richards, questions?
So, sure. So We're seeing that it looks like the overhanging for the trellis on this plan has been reduced from what it previously was by maybe a foot, but so the detail on that trellis, does it have a solid roof? Is it a latticed roof?
It's solid, but it's, let's see, on the section, here's kind of a little bit of a detail. So it's a trellis roof with decking that will then have a solid surface on it, probably copper or sheet metal finish to seal it off at the top. We haven't really determined what the top surface is going to be, but it is going to be a solid surface.
Is there a need that it project that 42 inches off of the face of the building, or could that be something that could be reduced?
I don't think it's 42, I think it's 3 feet. Let's see what the section says that we didn't update. It's intended to be a 3-foot projection. I'm not seeing it on the sections, but on that elevation,
I saw a 4-foot.
It looks
Just-
like, yeah, that,
You
Oh,
passed
would it-
by it, but I
you
saw
mean the roof
4 foot
plan?
somewhere.
I mean,
No, it was,
if we're
it was
looking
in
at
a
it in
profile. It
plans,
was in a profile.
okay.
Is it an elevation or a section?
Well, I know it's not 4 feet. It was not intended to be 4 feet, but we could pull this back to 3. You know, if you felt like that was an issue, we could pull it back.
and I guess the follow-up to that would be, does it need to continue all the way across the face of that, even over part that's not deck, or?
Well, yeah, because it's, it's a large south-facing window. It needs a shade. It's a shade canopy. So you can see that these existing south-facing windows have canvas. These actually are retractable awnings on these windows. Very much needed on this house because of the southern exposure and no overhang otherwise.
Okay. So, kind of going back, I guess, to the site plan, you had a deck, you said you were removing it from the setback or making it compliant. Could
Yeah.
you kind of talk us through that? Because I feel like we didn't dive into that.
Right. This is a site plan issue. So currently, in the back right corner, there's a shed which was built without a permit, and that was that red roof we were looking at from the dwellies. That's right here, and the deck extends into the setback, and these stairs extend into the setback. So in fact, it doesn't show it on this plan. I have to go to the old plan to show you what's actually happening with that back corner because, yeah, this darn draftsman. Sorry. And it was really it's my drawing, so there's no draftsman. This illustrates what's happening. Here's an existing shed, it's being taken out. There's an existing trellis back here that was built without permits, and the deck extended into the setback on this side. They're pulling all of that back, removing everything that's in the setback that doesn't meet current code requirements, including moving these steps back. So this is all to code, this existing deck, because it's less than 10 inches above the existing grade. In fact, the grade is sloping up here. So, any other questions about that?
No other questions about the deck. And then I guess my last question was that little bump out that you have for the bridge. Can you kind of talk, I think, through the detailing or at least materiality of what that is? Is it wood? Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, that's a good question. We haven't really talked about that. The current design, which is shown on the elevations, actually, probably here again, looking at the section may be more helpful, but it's illustrated here. So in the current backyard space, there's this 7-foot high or so retaining wall about 20 feet away from the back wall of the residence. And then it continues to step up here, which you'll see on the section. There's another small series of retaining walls before it gets to the back property line. So this is a kind of upper terrace, outdoor area, and so the proposal is two wood beams, basically, with wood decking and an iron railing that would match the railing that occurs at the front of the house, so that they could access that upper terrace area from the third floor.
And then that projection is wood, is what I guess my.
Yes,
question
right,
is. Okay.
right, yeah. That's shown on that south elevation right here. So, yeah, and this is the railings on each side of the deck, or that bridge, are dashed in there.
Okay. I think that's all the questions that I have.
Comments, Board Member Gufridi.
Okay, great. Given we're here for concept, I'm not going to focus as much on the details, but of course, we'll want all of that fleshed out before PDA. I appreciate you reducing the plate heights. I appreciate you reducing the parapet, including the existing one that we didn't capture in comments. And I think given the reductions in height, I don't feel like I would need to require story poles. I just want to make sure I include that in there. The only thing is, I appreciate that you pushed back that I guess south-facing bedroom, or I don't know if we're calling it the west elevation, but that new bedroom. I think that there could have been opportunity to minimize the FAR more. I can appreciate if there's existing furniture, pianos, things like that, but I think given that you're going over 100%, there still could be more compromise to happen in that regard, because we do really try to keep FAR within 100%. But I think I could support it as is, and I do think you made a lot of good changes, so I will leave it at that.
Comments, Board Member Ralph.
Yeah. So like Board Member Graffiti said, I appreciate that you brought down the height of the third floor, and I feel like the little pop out in the back is visually interesting. And so my one comment is, I feel like the 14 inches that you push back, I think you can actually do more by just kind of reconfiguring some hallways. And, well, I'll let you figure that out, but I think that could be studied more. I don't know, like, how far it needs to be pushed back. So one thing is, I actually would prefer to have story poles, so then I can really kind of gauge the massing. That's just my one concern, is that the west bedroom massing as it is towards the street. So that's all. Thanks.
Comments, Board Member Richards.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with the height of it. It seems like it's relatively minimal in that 8-foot push from what the existing parapet is, but I do think that the overhang, the front overhang could be studied and reduced, either in how far it extends or, how far across the facade it extends. And to that point, I think that back sort of wood projection with the bench could be done really nicely, but I would encourage definitely a study of the details and how that awning covering is supported. I think that it could be improved from what it is right now, as it's kind of just hanging off the structure.
Okay, question for staff. Why is this a continued item again and not here for PDA?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so right now the project is still in its incompleteness. So
Oh, it is, okay.
Uh-huh.
After this long?
Yeah, I think the idea was just waiting for it. We're still waiting for like a full resubmittal for application completeness. I think there were some SWIMP comments left and things like that. Some remaining zoning
Applicant
comments.
looks
That's news to me.
confused. I mean,
I
you noticed
thought
that
we
you're
were here
not,
for PDA.
Well,
The issue being whether you're waiving the story poles or not.
but
If
that
you
has
waive
nothing to
them-
do with my question. My question is, why is this after so long still not agendized for PDA? And it sounds like, I mean, you knew that because you're coming here and you saw the agenda. Were you surprised?
Yes.
Did you talk to staff and then they just said it wasn't done and you still need swamp stuff?
No, I didn't talk to staff.
Okay.
I just assumed,
Okay.
because I've been through this process many times, that if the story pole requirement was waived, that we could get PDA today.
No, not if it's not agendized for that. So
Well,
I just feel bad.
I didn't even read it. I'm
All right.
sorry.
It's
My
all right.
bad, I guess. But
Okay,
I
now
just-
that answers my
It's just a
questions.
shock to me, because the drawings have been submitted, yeah. I mean, the only thing that was missing was a landscape plan. There's no swamp issues. There's none. There's zero.
Yeah,
We're not adding any hard surfaces.
Okay, well, anyway,
Yeah.
so let's not get into a back and forth, but just so you know, I was surprised too. So, that being said, can I take a quick straw vote on who believes that the story poles could be waived for this project as an additional requirement for the excess of 100% FAR? Who feels that the story poles are necessary?
I think they're necessary.
Okay, one, okay. All right. So that being said, this is a definite continuance back to the full board with the following comments: that the board appreciates the reduction in plate height and square footage from the last submittal. But due to the project still being proposed at over 100% FAR, the applicant is encouraged to study additional ways to reduce the square footage because our board is required to justify projects that are proposed to be in excess of 100%, and the floor plan appears to still, there appears to be ways to reduce the floor plan in order to get the square footage closer to the 100% maximum.
Well, this was brought up last time.
This is my motion.
Yeah, but it was discussed
And I'm
last
talking
time.
right now.
Yeah, okay, so-
And I'm still talking. And we still feel the same way. I'm just reiterating what the board is telling me, and I feel the same way. So I'm just, doesn't have to pass. This is my motion. The board can eliminate the requirement for the story poles at this time. The next item is the applicant is encouraged to reduce the overhangs if there's an opportunity to do that. That's my motion. Do we have a seconder for that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, under discussion.
Two quick things. Well, one is I don't know if we need to put this in the comments, but just clarity around all the dimensions, because I think even for the overhang, we're asking to reduce, but we don't even know what it currently is proposed at. And then the other one is, I think we're putting the verbiage encourage to reduce the floor plan. I don't know if you want to just say reduce it, or if we're still putting encourage or study or, one of those words, but
Well, I said,
that's up to the maker of the motion. I just wanted to call it out.
I said it that way because the board feels that there are ways, is what I'm hearing from the comments. The board felt that there are ways to reduce it. And that's why I wrote it that way. And instead of just saying like that it has to be reduced. I don't believe that you've spent, however many tens of hours that you've spent reducing the floor plan. I can see ways to reduce the floor plan. And here's why I'm writing that comment, Kirk. It's, there's 100% FAR for a reason, and when we do entertain excesses of 100%, but there has to be a really good reason why. And so that's why I think that comment should be in place. And I'm not saying how much or whether it's possible, but if you're going to reduce it, come back with a really good reason for reducing it. That's all I'm saying. That's an explanation of why I wrote it that way. But we can see if you don't have to, do you have a different way that you'd like to write it?
I think when we use words like encourage, I think
Yeah.
we should just be clear, because if we said that last time and he came back and reduced it 14 inches and we're still having the same conversation, it feels like we should have been clearer last time. So I think we should either say reduce it or study and have a strong justification why it cannot be under 107%.
I hear you, and I appreciate that comment. So I think that I would like to rewrite the first comment to state that the board appreciates, the first part's okay, Kathy. The board appreciates the reduction in plate height and square footage, and the applicant is asked to either reduce the floor plan, is to look for ways to reduce the floor plan further to get the square footage closer to the maximum 100%, or return with a justification that that is acceptable to the board for the reason why a further reduction is not possible. Okay, vote.
Just a question for clarification. You said reduce, are you asking the applicant to reduce to 100% or
No.
just get under the 107%?
Do you want to read back the comment, Kathy, to make sure we got it right this time?
Okay, the board appreciates the reduction in the plate height and square footage. However, the board feels to study ways to reduce the floor plan or return with a floor plan that it can be acceptable, and why a further reduction is not possible.
I think it should be really, it's not exactly the way I said it, but I apologize for not being clear. The first part's okay, and the second part should say that the applicant is to further reduce the square footage at the upper level or return with a justification that the board can find acceptable for not further reducing the square footage to be closer to the 100%. Is that clear, Sebastian, now?
Yes, I just want to make sure that, because as staff, when we take these motions and you have those kind of hard percentages, I deny or accept resubmittals. So
Yeah.
having that clarity helps me, because if I have the applicant resubmit and it's not below 107%, I'm going to ask him to redesign and resubmit something that is. So the clarification is helpful, so that I understand that around 100% is good, 107, but just to let the applicant know to be prepared to discuss
Yeah,
that if it is the same FAR.
I'm sorry
So
that
thank you.
that we can't be more specific, but there are going to be projects, and we have seen projects that we felt comfortable with the square footage being 100% or 106 or 107 or even 108. But this isn't one of those right now. So that's why it's a little bit of a gray area. We just don't feel that we have gotten the justification that is believable. So
Yeah,
that's why
so
we're in that position.
absolutely,
So,
no, and
sorry.
appreciate the clarification, just so I know how to direct the applicant. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Please let me know when I can comment.
we're really behind and really quickly, Kirk, what do you have to say?
Well, first of all, you should go back and listen to your discussion last time. Because
Okay,
it was
it
very
doesn't-
different.
that doesn't matter?
It was very different from the discussion today. And also that as part of the submittal, we listed the 20 closest lots ranked by FAR, which is included in our drawings. And there's 5 houses that have a higher FAR than ours that are adjacent
Yeah.
to our property. So I'm just pointing that out, that you have to look at neighborhood context, right? And there's 2 board members who were not here last time, and one who was, who's not here. So we have a different board, and we have very different comments than we did last time.
Well,
So-
the comments are the same.
Yeah, and we addressed the comments. No, the comments are not the same.
The
If you look at-
comment, we asked for.
Dawn, you should go back and listen
I'm not
to
going
what
to
I
argue
said.
with you anymore.
not
I
the
let you
same.
speak, but I didn't let you speak to argue.
They're not the
So I'm
same, though.
sorry.
Yeah.
The comment was to reduce the floor plan. You reduced it, it wasn't enough. We're asking the same question again because we didn't feel that the justification was there. So I'm trying to help you. Okay, can we take a vote?
Okay, here we go. Board Chair Sherry?
Yes.
Okay, Board Member Rolfe?
Yes.
Okay, Board Member Graffiti?
Yes.
And Board Member Richards?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 2, which is 143 San Rafael. This is a demolition of the existing single-family residence and attached garage, followed by construction of a new 2-story, 2,509 square foot single-family residence, a 408 square foot attached garage, a new driveway, and landscape improvements. The project also includes a 317 square foot JADU, which is not subject to board review. The JADU is approved and received a coastal exemption by the staff hearing officer. Sorry, minor typo.
Yes, thank you.
That's pretty
Hearing
funny.
officer.
On August 19th, the total proposed development of 3,234 square feet on an 8,139 square foot lot is 100% of the maximum allowable floor area ratio. Project design approval is requested. Neighborhood compatibility findings are required, and the project was last heard on February 23rd, 2026. Oh, and we don't have anybody. So where are you? You're supposed to be here already.
Thank you, Chair Sherry. My name is Liz Hughes, presenting for Tom Oxner Architect. We also have Robert Richards, our landscape architect, here as well. The design of this residence received positive comments at the last hearing, and so we're here with a further developed set for final or project design approval now. And I'll just go over first the comments from the previous hearing. The first comment, the board is generally in support of the project. Here, I'll go to this so we can have it up as well. The project citing, the scale, bulk, and size. The board is comfortable with the floor to area ratio as presented, which includes the JADU. The board is comfortable with the proposed style and material palette and encourages the applicant to continue refining the architectural detailing. The landscaping is appropriate and appreciated. The board would like the landscape architect to continue studying ways to provide as much screening as possible on the south side of the residence to screen the 2-story massing along that elevation. The applicant to return with a site section that would further illustrate the grade differential between the subject parcel and the neighbor to the south. And the board is comfortable without further supplemental information for the FAR above 85%. And if you'd like to see some of the old plans, we can go back to that during questions. So The size of the building is generally, and the building envelope is generally the same as the last time we were here. Here's all our documentation about the neighborhood, compatibility, and the size of this, this design. So we have a 2-story residence with the garage pushed towards the street, and then the residence pushed back. On the back side, we have a covered patio opening up to the backyard, and then the 2-story portion of the house along the south side of the lot. One thing that we did after the last hearing was we had our surveyor go back out and take some points both from the neighbor's side of the property and our side of the property. We discussed with the neighbor a few times after the last hearing because there's a shared fence which is actually pushed onto the property about 3 to 4 feet. And so there was some concern about when we relocate that fence to the property line, if there was any issue with grading or interrupting planting on the neighbor's property. And so what we did find, and I'm just going to summarize because I don't think you guys want to look at the actual survey points, but we can zoom in later if you want. But essentially, on this side of the lot, there's a grade differential maximum of about 2 feet. So that would allow us to have, you know, a short concrete retaining wall and then a fence above, which is what our plan is. On the other side of the property, there's actually a much larger grade differential of about, you know, somewhere between 3 to 5 feet. I think it varies a little bit. So this side of the property is actually much less than the other side. And so one of the comments was about providing, I'm going to skip over the landscape for now. And I need to go back actually. So here's our site section that shows the section through that property with the proposed fence there. There would actually be a little bit more retaining. This is kind of showing the slope there. But this is the neighboring residence and then the proposed residence at 143 San Rafael, and then a little bit taller of a retaining wall that exists on the other side of the property. And there were a few things that we did along this side, which when I get to the elevations, we can discuss further. So some of the detailing, and it didn't really show up on the comment list, but just from my memory, there were some specific comments about the detailing of the project. And so one of them was the roof structure at the covered deck at the second floor of the front of the residence. We originally had a hip roof to match the rest of the roofs at the front, and the board wanted to see what it would look like if we had a gable end roof that would be similar to the covered deck at the back of the property. Tom and I actually preferred to have the hip roof just because it minimizes the height of the building, the apparent height from the street, but either way works for us. Another thing we did was develop some of the eave details and add some brackets along the back of the structure and just kind of look more specifically at the framing. And so we also have some additional details at the end of the set to cover those architectural details. And then another thing, and I'll let Robert jump in here so that I don't take over the whole time. But another thing that we looked at or discussed at the previous hearing that's not in the comments was the amount of hardscape at the back of the property. If you remember previously, and I think, let me just pull up these old plans. Did we have them in here? There we go. There was a lot of hardscape sort of towards the north corner, the northeast corner here, and so, or northwest, sorry. And so we reduced that paving there, so essentially it's all softscape now with a gravel path going around, more planting around the edge, and then some kind of more permeable type hardscape here I'll let you go ahead, Robert. I'm taking over your presentation, but go ahead.
Well, I think Liz was summarizing it pretty well. Yeah, so in the backyard, the owners wanted to kind of simplify and go away from the idea of a hot tub and a fire pit area. So now it's kind of like a, area with a small area of lawn and a little gravel path. There's a fountain that's kind of centered on the windows. So one of the comments that you guys had was to study the screening between the neighbors. So along the south side there, we introduced in Podocarpus macrophyllus and kind of like little groupings to help soften against that side of the house. And then we also put in here an offer for the neighbor to give them 2 avocado trees because we were going to have to displace some of their trees with the process of adjusting where the wall and the fence are at. So that was worked out with the neighbor. The rest of this is similar planting as what you guys initially saw. We've got permeable paver driveway in the front, then flagstone with an ashlar paving pattern kind of in the front courtyard and in the rear. There's some steppers around the side. It's kind of a Mediterranean, Santa Barbara friendly landscape. Maybe go to the lighting real quick. There's a real simple landscape lighting, path lighting package. Everything is drip irrigation except for the real small area sod. And then maybe go to the detail sheet. We've got detail for the barbecue and the fireplace outside. So.
Yeah, and I'll just point out where those elements are. So the barbecue is located here, and then opposite the barbecue on the other south side is the fireplace. And we felt that having that fireplace element in that location also provided some additional privacy for the neighbor because it has that kind of another solid element with planting screening behind it. Just to provide an additional layer of privacy between the seating area and the neighbor's yard. So then I'll go to the developed architectural plans. Site plans pretty much the same with the changes to the landscaping as we discussed. Just some developed floor plans, reflected ceiling plans, our roof plan, and then our new colored elevation. So this is that gable end roof at the front of the house here. And there was a discussion previously about, on the lower level, we do have some stone-clad pillars at the entry and at the covered deck. And then at the upper level, we have a wood-framed roof structure. And I think there was a little discussion about whether or not to bring the stone up to the upper level, but we felt pretty strongly about keeping this upper structure as light as possible, just to be just in keeping with the architectural style of the building. And then along the south side where we have that neighbor, we really wanted, since most of the other elevations are very broken up in terms of how far the walls are pushed back, we wanted to be able to, introduce a horizontal element which would create a shadow line along that side of the building to kind of break it up a little bit as well. And so we continued the roof around that corner to connect to the roof at the back of the property as well. And then we just have the rest of our drawing set, our building sections, door and window schedules, and then details of all the chimney, the corbels, and all of the other siding and everything else that goes into it, and then our mechanical plans. So that concludes our presentation.
All right, thank you. Moving on to public comment.
Okay, for this particular item, I did not receive any speaker slips. I have received one item of written correspondence or emailed in correspondence, and that was from Susan McClare. Other than that, upon checking Zoom, I do not see any raised hands, so I'll return it back to you, Chair Sherry.
Thank you. Okay, questions. Board Member Richards, questions?
Yeah, if we could go back to the, I guess, the floor plan, or maybe site plan, actually. Yeah, site plan. I just want to get a better understanding of what the scope of what's being, I guess, proposed for the barbecue and what's being proposed for the fireplace. So the barbecue, it looks like it had 3 grill slots. Are they different kinds of grills, or what's the idea behind that?
The owner had very specific choice in the 3 types. So he wanted I think there was a Santa Maria grill, a gas grill, and I forget what they were chosen by the owner.
Okay, but specific different types of grills.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was his specific choice.
Gotcha. And then the fireplace, it looks like it's fairly low. Is it gas? Is it?
Yeah, the idea is that it would be gas. Let me go to the sheet, the elevation here. Yeah, so I think, what does that say, 5 feet?
Yeah, I think it's 5 feet
Five.
tall.
5 feet 6 tall.
And then it vents to just,
It would just be a direct vent type, so it would probably come out probably the back of the fireplace with one of those metal grills.
okay. Those are my questions.
Oh, yeah, I do see
Board
this.
Member Roth. It has a glass door, by the way.
Yeah,
The fire, it's not open, it has.
I see this one, this Mason Light linear one.
It's the insert in the lower right, so that one is like a sealed, yeah, so it's got glass.
Here,
I
let's
don't-
go down here.
There you go.
This one?
Vent-free layout, yeah.
Okay. Okay, questions, Board
Oh,
Member Roth?
yeah, thank you. Do you mind pulling up the old east elevation? I just want to compare the roof shapes for that second story pop out. Okay. Okay, and then were you thinking of, doing the vent-free fireplace?
Yeah.
Okay, vent-free, okay. That's all, thank you.
Questions, Board Member?
I just had a
Griswold?
clarification as I read through the public comment that we received, and I know some of it's in our purview, some of it's out of it, and related to construction, it sounds like you're in contact, but is the rainwater collection tanks that are being referred to on the applicant's property?
It's actually over the property line
Look at the
currently.
landscape plans, 'cause
Okay.
I have them kind of, I think it's, go up, there's a demolition.
Oh, demolition plan?
Yeah, right
Okay,
They're,
Oh.
go,
sorry, it just
they're
switches to the
like
next sheet.
straddling that's,
They're right in the
Okay.
middle of the property line currently.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that if there's a response to public comment, I don't know if you had a chance to read the public comment that came in.
I did read the public
If
comment,
there was
yes.
something in direct response to that, I know the concern, just to kind of read part of it, maintain the rainwater collection tanks on their current elevated platform or construct a suitable replacement platform. So do you want to,
I don't think that's something that
it's totally
we
out of-
could really address as part of this.
okay, I just want to make sure, I guess, by being here, all of the rainwater, stormwater, everything's being met, so that's out of purview, but, okay, I'll save that for comments then.
and just to be clear, those features are on our client's property that the neighbor has constructed, so.
Okay, because it's straddling the property
Yeah.
line
So
with
it's-
the, yeah.
Those are my question was,
Yeah.
are those the neighbors
They're the
Yes.
neighbor's
for
tanks.
their property?
Yeah, we put
Yes.
an item
So
that's.
they're in your way, kind of? I mean,
Yeah.
they're on your
Yes.
property, and you're just saying, remove them from your property?
Correct, and the property
Yeah,
line
okay.
is gonna be cleaned up so that it serves our
Okay.
client.
Okay, all right.
And in that process, we've offered to give them new trees because some of the trees have to be displaced.
Yeah.
So,
That's all for my
Oh,
questions.
okay. I had a question about the public comment too, because they made a comment and I don't really understand it, and maybe you don't either, but it says, move the property line to the existing
So
fence
she's
line."
claiming that because she's had usage of this property for however many years, that it should be her property, and that legally it should be changed to be owned by her.
So she does mean.
That's what
okay.
she means.
Okay, I understand now.
I haven't read this comment.
Okay, so, and
But
just,
we disagree with that statement.
well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if they can pursue that with an attorney for.
Yeah, that's what I told her when we
easement
spoke to her.
Or some kind of a, it's not relative to us. I also didn't understand where she's talking about providing a safe area for her dogs. The fence line right now is where, I just want to.
The fence, you can see this red line here, that's the fence, which goes pretty far onto,
So that's your property?
Yes.
That fence is on your property?
Yes.
So you can remove it, and if she has dogs,
there will be construction fencing, and I told her, that during construction, we would have the contractor reach out to her to coordinate anything needed
okay, good.
as it pertains to her dogs. But, I mean, obviously, we do as much as we can during this part of the process, making sure that everyone's aware, but at a certain point, we're not involved. So, we're going to communicate that to the contractor, and it's really up to the owner and the contractor to make sure that happens.
And I have notes on here that says a surveyor should come there and stake the entire property line before any work is done.
Okay, so you're doing the best you can to,
Yeah.
to do whatever you're responsible for doing from your end. Did the roof comment about the front gable make it into the minutes?
It didn't make it into the minutes, but it was a very specific comment at the last hearing.
Okay, so you didn't make the change because of us? You
I
made it
did
because
make
you
the
wanted
change.
to do it?
I made the change because that's what the board specifically asked for at the last hearing. Just with the, I was planning on saying, what I said is that, either way is acceptable to us. We would prefer the old way, but now we can look at both options.
I think that in the future, if it doesn't make it into the minutes, then it's a comment from one person, maybe two, and it wasn't a strong enough comment to make it into the minutes. So we want you to design the project. If you felt that you really wanted a hip roof and you felt that we were telling you, I'm not sure who made the comment. Maybe it was me. I don't know.
It was Lauren.
But it was who?
Lauren. I believe.
Okay.
I think so.
So anyway, I just want you to know, if it doesn't make it into the minutes, then we're not going to bring it up at the next hearing. So, and the site section we asked for in the minutes, what was that site section again?
It was just the site section through the neighbor's property.
Okay, and I think we solved all
showing
those
that,
issues.
because when she
Got
wrote
it.
the letter for the previous hearing, she had expressed that there was a potentially larger differential in grade between our property and her property. And so that's why we went out and took the survey. And what we found during the survey was that it's about 1 to 2 feet in grade difference between the two properties.
Got it. Okay.
And so that's why we felt comfortable with being able to move the fence without there being too much difficulty.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, comments. Who wants to make comments?
I can start.
Go ahead.
I think it's a really nice project. I am open to either way. You want to have the roof hang over the deck and the picture that we're viewing right now. I think you've done a great job of engaging with the neighbor, obviously with a property line and a fence line being in the wrong place and correcting that, there's going to be disruption. But I would just, it sounds like you have a plan and continue to engage there. And I'm happy to, support the project and grant PDA today. And I like the landscape improvements in the back as well.
I'll just, because I only have one comment, and it's about that upper level roof that I can see why Board Member Ralph made the comment, because it adds some architectural features that if it was a hip roof, it would have otherwise been covered up. And this is an opportunity to extend the beams and create a little, some charm-giving elements to the front elevation. But I don't think that it would be unapprovable if you really did, and the owners really did prefer a hip. Just, that's my only comment. Otherwise, I think that the project's ready for project design approval. Go ahead, Board Member Ralph.
Yeah, I really like all the changes that you did, like making the second story columns lighter, and the landscape plan looks great. I like the garden beds and I don't know, just everything is well thought out. And yeah, and then regarding the second story roof, I I'm actually, I mean, yeah, whatever you want to do, I'm happy with like the old design too. So, yeah, that's a great project.
New or differing comments? Board Member Richards.
I guess I'll agree with Don that I think the gable end does look a little bit better. It adds a little bit more charm and character to the house and speaks to the trellis on the back. And then I just want to say I appreciate you guys going above and beyond to try and appease the neighbor and gift her some trees. I think that's really generous of you guys. So.
Okay, well, this project's here for project design approval. Would anybody want to make a motion to that effect?
I can make a motion. I move to grant project design approval. Let's see. With the following findings. 'Cause I don't think we have any comments.
Give me one moment. I had wrong notes. I'm usually very well prepared.
Come on.
I know, rookie mistake. I'm supposed to be training somebody right now. Oh my God, embarrassing.
She's taking notes about what not to do.
Okay. For neighborhood compatibility findings, the project is compatible with the site and neighborhood in its size, bulk, and scale, and contributes to the scenic character of the city. The buildings and structures are designed with quality architectural details and enhance the appearance of the neighborhood. The project complies with the Good Neighbor Guidelines regarding privacy, landscaping, noise, and minimal lighting. No trees are impacted. Jog my memory, we have specimen trees being removed. But not under mature trees or specimen trees, correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. I don't think we had a tree mitigation plan, and complies with tree protection and preservation standards in the applicable design guidelines. And then the development, including proposed structures and grading, preserves significant public scenic views of and from the hillside.
Great. That's it.
All right. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
Okay, here we go. Okay, Board Member Graffitti,
Yeah.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Sherry,
Yes.
and Board Member Rolls.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And just to announce the appeal period for that item, so there's 10 days to do so. And with that, we will move on to item number 3 for
Item
951
number 3
Jimena
is
Road.
951 Jimena Road. This is a proposal for a 686 square foot addition to attach the existing 1,950 square foot residence to an existing 780 detached bedroom. The proposed total, 3,416 square feet on a 31,798 square foot lot is 72% of the maximum guideline floor area ratio. This is a pre-application design consultation. No final appealable decision will take place at this hearing. Neighborhood compatibility findings and hillside findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval. Your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Chair. Heidi Jones, agent for the owner.
Akiko Wade Davis, architect.
Elizabeth Backup, interior designer.
Oh yeah, just make sure your microphones are on down there. I don't think that green one's on. Thank you.
Elizabeth Backup, interior designer.
Jim Davis, architect.
Yes, so as you described, we wanted to come before you for the one-time concept hearing to get your early feedback. We're studying tree protection and biology and structural engineering and caissons. So while we were doing that, we thought we would like to come to you and get your early feedback on this very unique and cool property.
Do we have site photos that you wanted to go through to the side?
Yeah, we did take some supplemental site photos.
Oh, yeah.
Sebastian, do you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
those?
sure. Through the board, to the applicant team, we attached them. I just tacked them on to the last PDF sheet. So I think if you keep scrolling all the way down past the plans, yeah, you'll see all your photo package there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So I don't know if you, if the board has gone through these photos or to what
No,
degree you guys
we
have. So the project's located along Jimeno Road. This is the parcel, and it's well covered by trees. You can't even see it from the street, so it's a really unique property. We do have additional photos that you can see.
Oh, apologies for the interruption. Can you just make sure you have a microphone kind of close to your mouth while you speak? And you can,
Absolutely.
yeah, feel free to use the one on the left or the right, just so we
This-
can capture that.
I'll get that one
All
closer.
right, thank you.
Okay, again, so these are the site photos, so we can start to go through those. Let's see, so we start with number 1. I didn't take these, so I'm kind of fumbling a little bit through these, but bear with me. So photo
I
number
took these photos, so I will be here to help.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So the first photo is going to be from up above, looking at, looks like a neighbor's parcel, I'm assuming.
Yes,
there.
so
And-
basically taken from the street, looking down toward our home that I share with Isaac, who is technically the owner. And this, basically from the street, you see the neighbor's house. But we were asked to take a photo from APS.
The second photo then is, which one here? Over here?
Yeah, it's taken from, it got a little cut off, it looks like, but it was taken
This one?
from up Jimeno as you turn off of APS.
That's from here then?
Yeah,
Okay.
so you can't really see anything of the property.
And then as we keep moving down.
And we
Jimeno-
basically, yeah, keep moving down the hill a little bit.
Okay, so then their entrance is to the property, I believe, is back down here then, right?
Yes, there's sort of 3 driveways right in a row there, and we are the middle driveway. That is our driveway, yes.
Okay, and then you keep looking down Jimeno as we keep moving along these, and then looking back up, and it's this one?
That is a neighbor's house.
I mean, the driveway, or is it this one?
So it's actually neither of those, but this is kind of the curve. I think
Got it.
we're at now .3, the number 3 or something like that. But basically, you can see the entrance of the driveway from the street. You can't really see the house. If you go to the next photo, I kind of took what you can see. Let me use this mouse for a second. Pretty much all you can see is this is the very tip of our deck. This is a different neighbor's house. This is a different neighbor's property, and it's pretty much just the pool deck protruding out there a little bit.
Okay, let's see. Go ahead.
I'll just explain that we do share a driveway with our neighbor. It's actually the house when you're looking from APS, where I stood up before. There's they have a driveway off APS and then another driveway to the lower unit of that house. It's, I guess, a duplex. So we share the driveway with them, and it forks off. This is our carport, and it is looking toward...
Southeast.
Yes. So basically, I'm looking at Jimeno through this hedge and then through the other neighbor's house that is closer to the street. This is down by our front door. There are stairs down to the front door. And this is also that house that is located on Jimeno, kind of just the white part at the top is what you can see of that house.
Okay, is there one more, or is that it? I think that's it.
I think that might be it.
Okay, so let's jump back now to the site plan. Okay, so these are other site photos of on the parcel. So when you, let's see here. So this is the area that's being affected more so though. So the carport is further off to the side over here. So this is standing, let me give you a site plan look here too. So if we're standing kind of along the existing catwalk here or the deck here, looking back, this is the area that we are trying to propose an addition. So let's go ahead and go back to those photos. Just went to the other way. So again, let's start down here. If you're at the top and you're looking down the creek or the minor creek here, you see the detached structure, and this is the deck that's going across this minor creek. And then as you move down, you can see this thing in multiple views. And then as you keep moving further, that's what you're getting with these different photos. So if you have any questions about those, just let me know. Here is the existing site plan. So back out here is Jimeno. Here's the driveway. You come down to the carport that you saw the photos of. Then as you sneak around the back here, you get to see the site photos that I took, which is giving you more sense of this detached structure and the existing walkway across that minor creek. Here's what our proposal. We're proposing to connect the two structures, and you reuse the existing caissons that are there as much as possible. They're pretty substantial, so we're working on verifying the existing structural integrity of them, but that's our intent, is to put in as minimal amount of new caissons as needed. Here's again the existing floor plans. This is showing the existing caissons. There's additional ones here underneath the structure as well. But again, this is the main house. You enter the house here. We're proposing to enclose and do our addition between the two structures. Again, here's the proposed floor plan with the crosshatch area showing the new addition. And then here we have our existing elevations. So again, the existing residence with the detached structure across the way here. And you can see these are trying to illustrate the existing caissons that are already there. This is the entry elevation, so there's no real changes on this elevation. And then, let's see here. This is looking back at the main house, so we would be doing our addition portion, connecting the structures here. And then this is a view from the north looking down, so again, we'd be enclosing the area between here. So again, here's the proposed elevations, and you can see the connection between the two structures. No changes here. Again, trying to create a glass wall for the most part over the enclosed area. And then this is the cross section through that enclosed area. And that's it.
Yeah, I'll just add that, really the owner wants to add some additional livable square footage, and other than going up, this seemed like a good solution.
And the intent with the addition is to, as was mentioned, reuse those caissons, since those are already there, and lessening any impact to the property. In terms of the roof line and the heights, we're working with that existing structure down below for the foundation, and we're also working with the existing roof line of the detached structure to just simplify the addition and let the massing of the main house be as prominent as it is, with the gable end facing south, trying to maintain that language. So the addition, we're kind of sandwiching in between the floor levels that we can work with, connecting the main house and the detached structure and that roof elevation.
Does that conclude your presentation? Okay. Okay, we'll move on to public comment.
For this particular item, I did not receive any public comment slips. I did not receive any public correspondence. And upon checking Zoom, I do not see any raised hands for this particular item. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, questions. Board Member Ruff, do you have any questions?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forget your name. Do you have any desire to add any more deck space to the addition?
Well, currently, we do have the one deck here you can see.
Yeah.
But I guess I can let the clients answer that question.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Happy with the amount of deck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking at it.
There is
Yeah.
a substantial pool deck to the south of the main house, so that does provide a lot of space, and there's also a substantial deck to the east of the main house. So they do have a good amount of outdoor living space already.
Okay. And then I assume from the planning side that this addition doesn't affect the creek at all, right?
Yeah, so Yep, thank you for the question, Board Member Rolfe. So because this is a pre-application, staff hasn't had a chance to do an environmental review or CEQA check or, plan check this. So I do not know. Yeah, that is to be determined. So when they do submit, we'll be doing more full CEQA review.
There was a planner consultation, and through that planner consultation, it really is identified as a minor creek in the city's documents. It's really more of a drainage, and it really isn't even, not even seasonal hardly. But we do have that on our radar, and it will be part of our biological study. If we need to add additional caissons, we'll have some opinion on that.
That's all my questions. Thank you.
Board Member Richards.
Sure. So, as part of this proposed design, I mean, and maybe it's a little bit of the perspective of those existing site photos that you provided, but are you guys going to be able to maintain those 2 oak trees, or it almost looks like, you're going to be limbing off one of the big cantilevering limbs to at least get that sort of front bridge, and then I'm not even sure what is going to happen to that rear oak, but.
Yeah, I think the intent is to protect them as much as feasible in place, and since we hopefully won't have additional ground disturbance, or if we do, we'll have an arborist report and a biological report. It may need some trimming, for fire department safety requirements, et cetera, but the intent is to protect them in place.
Okay. That's my questions.
Yeah, I kind of have just the same question, although you just answered it. But could you zoom in on this page just so I could see exactly where the trunks are?
Here, maybe?
Where is this? Oh, just the.
It's that magnifying
Yeah.
glass at the bottom. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So that 18-inch oak on the corner there. You got the 24-inch oak down there. And then what are the 3? Oh, those are the caissons. Okay. Okay. That's it. No more questions.
So you've got a feedback letter from a pre-app.
A planner consultation. Yeah.
Or planner consultation. And so why did you decide to come to our board for a design consultation, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, we just wanted early feedback and input, and just to get it before you while we're studying the biology and the caissons, and just have some momentum on the project to see if you have any fundamental concerns with the design or the addition itself while we're studying everything else.
Before we get into paying for biologists and getting into that
Oh, got it. Okay.
further level of review.
Okay.
So.
Okay, comments. Board Member Rolfe, comments.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful design. Like, I think the way you incorporated the addition into the 2 sides it seems like it's seamless, and I also like all the glazing to capture the views. So I think it's a beautiful project. The only thing I thought of, but it's just like owner preference, is I saw the balcony off of the bedroom, and I thought you might want to connect it to the other decks, but that's just owner preference. So. Yeah, it's a great project.
Board Member Graffiti, comments.
Yeah, I agree. It's not really visible. I've been looking at it from satellite just so I have a better view of the driveway and all the photos that you shared. So, and you're not building up. So, in general, already, it's not, something that we're going to be overly concerned about, but the design is beautiful. Kind of sad that bridge is so cute, but I get it. And you're using the caissons and everything. I will say that I think looking at these oak trees, especially the 18-inch oak tree, I think that is going to be extremely tight, and with the canopy and everything, I would be very surprised if those were able to stay. So I would just consider if you had to mitigate where that would be, and if those are very important to you or adding something to the property, you might want to consider floor plan and siding for that regard. But otherwise, yeah, happy to be supportive of the project.
Yeah, I would build on that as, I'd encourage you guys to, one, get a survey, maybe with a LiDAR scanning, so you really know where those branches are and which way they lean. And then, of course, get an arborist report to verify the impact, especially with the caissons, how it kind of works. But, as you get into that, I would encourage you to really kind of consider, if you are going to be impacting one of these trees, how you kind of play with it. Because the oaks are just, I think they're what makes this property really gorgeous. And I'd want to preserve that, or at least one of the two, if possible, to really just be sensitive to that, so.
Okay. So I'm hearing that this is an indefinite continuance, that the board, is this full board because this is a pre-consult? Is that kind of where we are?
Yeah, I think it would just be a indefinite continuance with comments.
Okay,
If you would like to prefer any comments in there about full board or consent level as well, that's also helpful for staff.
I think this would be an indefinite continuance back to the full board, just because we don't have information about the Oaks. So the comments would be that the board appreciates the mass, bulk, and scale and its sensitivity to the existing architecture and the site, and looks forward to an arborist report that will outline the possibility or the feasibility of maintaining the oak trees as they relate to the proposed project, and if not, where and how are oak tree removals being mitigated. Do I have a seconder for the motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, under discussion?
The only one that I would, discussion point is, and I think it plays into just the citing of it, but making sure that you guys study where those caissons land and if they can land in more sensitive areas, so.
Yeah, do you think?
That may just be a
needs to
general
be in
comment,
I
yeah.
think that's kind of, I think you get it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we won't add it, but duly noted. Okay. Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, here we go. Chair Sherry?
Yes.
Okay, Board Member Rolfe?
Yes.
Yeah. Board Member Graffiti?
Yes.
And Board Member Richards?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And that concludes the full board agenda of the Single Family Design Board for August 24th. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.